Good morning to you, Desiree. Good morning to the viewers as well at home. Well, I can tell you, Desiree, that from where we are, no activity is currently taking place outside the Pietermaritzburg High Court, as we, of course, anticipate that ruling by Judge Piet Koen that is set to actually take place at 10 o'clock this morning. You'd recall, Desiree, that this ruling pertains to the submissions or arguments that were made by both the state, which were presented by Advocate Billy Downer, and as well as the lawyers representing former President Jacob Zuma. The state, when they made their submissions on Monday, Desiree, basically, accused the former president of trying every trick in the book to actually, delay, the start of this very, long trial, which has been, going on for about 20 years now, essentially. Advocate Billy Downer saying that the current pending, application before the, Constitutional Court, which was made by former President Jacob Zuma, seeking, to challenge the decision which was made by Judge Piet Koen to dismiss his application for Advocate Downer's recusal. Former President Jacob Zuma has taken that matter now directly to the Constitutional Court after, of course, he failed to, gain support from the Supreme Court of Appeal, and as well as failed again, to get, support from the president of the SCA. He has now taken that matter to the Constitutional Court, and that matter is still pending before the Constitutional Court. So what Advocate Billy Downer was essentially saying on Monday was that that application must not be used by former President Jacob Zuma to stop the trial from going ahead. And of course, we heard from the lawyers representing former President Jacob Zuma saying that they don't want the matter to be delayed, but of course there is this current pending application before the Concourt, and that decision should be, the court rather should be given space to deal with the decision, and then thereafter the matter will then commence. But of course, Desiree, this is a very peculiar case, so to speak, because as Advocate Billy Downer was busy making his submissions on Monday, lawyers of former President Jacob Zuma were saying that he is not supposed to be making those submissions, because you'd recall again that last week there was that private prosecution matter which was brought against Advocate Billy Downer by former President Jacob Zuma, seeking to remove him from this case. And on Monday we heard again from the lawyers representing former President Jacob Zuma, who said that they are still going to be making formal submissions before the judge here to seek the removal of Advocate Billy Downer from this particular case. And of course, the National Prosecuting Authority has been on record saying that Advocate Billy Downer will not be removed from this case. He is a fit and proper, prosecutor to be leading this prosecution, and they are going to be, relying on him to get this matter, rolling. But of course, we are going to be hearing from the judge at 10 a.m. this morning, Desiree, as to whether the actual trial will commence, though the, this application that is brought by former President Jacob Zuma before the Apex Court has not been decided as yet. So we are going to be getting that clarity from the judge at 10 a.m. this morning. But of course, as I said, no supporters of former president have been seen around the court itself. Only a few family members of former president are currently inside the courtroom, Desiree. And of course, when that matter begins at 10 a.m., we will bring it live to our viewers.
Just on a related matter, the other day you asked the spokesperson of the Jacob Zuma Foundation whether that media briefing they were going to hold this afternoon will be postponed, and he said no ways, we will be going through with it. We hear now that there might be a postponement.
That's exactly what we heard from spokesperson Mzwanele Manyi in the late evening yesterday, releasing that statement saying that that media briefing, which was scheduled to take place today, has been postponed to Friday, but the time and the exact venue of where it's going to be taking place will be confirmed at a later stage. And of course, we did pose the question to him as to what that media briefing will be about and who's going to be addressing that media briefing. And Mzwanele Manyi telling us that the former president himself will be addressing, that particular media briefing, but he is not at liberty to talk to members of the media about the details which are going to be disclosed in that particular media briefing. And of course, Desiree, if you have been following, pronouncements, public pronouncements made by the former president, especially when he addresses his supporters outside this very court where we are. He has been saying that he's going to speak out now. He's saying that he's ready to speak out, and we are going to be anticipating to hear what exactly that media briefing is going to be about when the actual date and the venue is confirmed. But what, of course, we do know at this present moment is that that media briefing is going to be taking place on Friday. Desiree.